Oh man, I should have preloaded this spreadsheet because now it's gonna destroy my bandwidth while it loads all these images. But I put in the community ratings from the spreadsheets, so, and I think these update in real time, which is cool. So you can see how my comparisons stack up to others' comparisons, or ratings, not comparisons. This one's funny. This is the second lowest card, I think. Marv the Mega Charge. No, it's the lowest card. Lowest rated card from the community ratings, at least. Which is funny, because I gave it a 4. Looking back on it, I might actually give it a 3, but I think it's so unique. The number 1 card is Change Stance. Which, let me find Change Stance. Oh, it's down here. Oh yeah, this. So this is a 4.33 out of like 6 ratings. I gave it a 2. I don't like this card at all. I don't know why people liked this card, but also this is a 1.83, which actually upsets me. I don't get why people don't like this card. I don't see what's wrong with it. I give it a 5 stars. Maybe because it's bad or something? It's always fun to see which ratings I was higher on and which I was lower on. In which I was just like completely different then. But it ends here, because I've only done 90 cards on ratings, so. I've only rated a couple more cards, I think. I ended like 100 something. I've done more than I thought. Okay. We'll start off with Rensar Greyhoof. 6 mana, 4/7, choose one twice. Whenever you play minion or spell, give it lifesteal or spell damage +1. So obviously something weird about this is like, if you choose spell and spell damage +1, it's basically just like getting spell damage, which is weird. You also have like your spells have lifesteal. I think besides the one option, which is a bit weird, your spells as lifesteal is pretty cool. Besides the spell damage, like you choose whenever you play a spell, it has a lifesteal. Besides that being weird, I think the card is pretty cool actually, and I think it fits well in Druid. So I'm actually going to go with 4 stars, as much as it's kind of awkward. As for balance, the 4 effects are pretty different. I think something like War Druid Lodi does a better job at being balanced, but the kind of like choose one twice dynamic aspect makes it really hard to balance, so I'm going to give it a 1 for balance, and a 1 for flavor, because I think I made this name up. Rensar Greyhoof. Oh no. I stole it, but he's just random, so. Justified Mallet. Wow, what a boring card. Flavor gets like a 1. It technically makes sense. Balance gets a 2. Design gets a 2. It's about time that we have like a weapon that does the set of minions attack and health to 3, but like, I don't know. I'm not feeling it. Maybe even 1 star. I think 1 star has like major design flaws. This definitely doesn't have major design flaws, just like not interesting. Rattle of Decay gets a 1 star for flavor. Probably 2 stars for balance. I think it's pretty like hard to mess up. or like hard to. It would be pretty hard to like have this card be broken. I don't see this card being broken. Is what I'm trying to say. Design, I think I'm gonna give it 2 stars. It's not an interesting take on Voodoo Doll. Hostage situation, I think it's a 2 for flavor. I think it's pretty unique. Balance gets a 1 because this is one of those things where the 2 effects are like wildly different. Actually, they're not that different. Put an enemy minion in your hand. I actually like this card. I actually like this card a lot. I'm gonna give it a 4 star for design. I think it's a really cool effect. 5 cards is like a lot. That's the only thing. But it needs to be that high for it to be even close to viable. If you give them a 1/1, it's like you're paying 7 mana to draw 5 cards, which is a worse sprint. Plus you have to use 2 cards. So like it works out. It just feels like a lot. But I think I'm actually gonna give it 5 stars. I think it's very fun to play at least. Manic Lay Tinker gets a 1 for flavor. I'm gonna give it a 4 for balance. I actually think it's well balanced, or 4 for design. I actually think it's well designed. I think it fits within Boomstay especially. Like it had some spell interaction minions like Electro, right? Brainstormer. That jellyfish, the 5 mana 3/4 jellyfish. Arcane Dynamo. So like I think it fits in Boomstay. Plus like you have to spend an additional card to get the destroy off. I think even then it could be 2 mana, but I think it's balanceable. So or 4 mana, not 2 mana. I just really can't speak to me. Okay, Freelance Warlock. So this is a TGT card, which I think is kind of important because it's meant to be like a kind of off-the-wall hero power modification card. So I'm gonna give it a 4 stars for design. It kind of sucks that it kind of is like rubbing in your face that Warlock is a better hero than everyone else, but like I think it's cool that anyone can kind of like become a Warlock with the help of this Freelance Warlock, and given that, I'm gonna give it a 2 for flavor. I think what's preventing this from becoming 5 stars is just that it's not realistic to be in the game. I don't think that they would do this. But I think like if this was in TGT, it would be one of the more memorable cards. So I'll give it a 2 for balance because like it's a 3 mana 4/3. It's really not that strong. Okay, Morgan's Fell Portal. I think we already reviewed Boris the Underminer. So this is supposed to be like a Morgan legendary spell, basically. Roughly based on her immortality thing. So this game, your demons summon demons from your hand on death if they can't destroy your hero. So I'm gonna give this a 2. I just don't think it's that fun to play. It definitely has like a fun tension, but like a lot of demons are small. There's not really consistency in how big demons are. Plus it feels like it's kind of fighting with the 5 mana skull thingy. What is that one? The KNC weapon. I don't know how I forgot the name, but like that card is just way better than this. So for balance, give it a 1 star because it's like irredeemably bad. And for flavor, I'll give it a 2 actually, just because I think it does better than most Boomsday Project spells. Like someone pointed out to me that like what is it? Myra's Unstable Element makes no sense. Because like Necreum is supposed to be the element of death, and it just like does not reflect in that. Or like Kangor's Endless Army, like maybe I missed something, but like why are Kangor and Crystal Smith Kangor so different? Suitor. After another friendly minion loses stealth, give it stealth for a turn. I actually like this. I'm gonna give it 4 stars. it encourages running a stealth deck in like an interesting way that I don't think Blizzard has really tried in the past. And it works with like Spirit of the Shark, kinda, if it sticks. For balance, I'll give it 2 stars because I really don't think this is broken. Yeah, I think I'll give it 2 stars instead of 3 just because like it would need playtesting. But I mean, I think it's balanced as is, but I'm not gonna give it a 3. Just because I think it might be too. Actually, I don't know. No comments for balance because like stealth is such a finicky mechanic. Flavor gets a 1, I guess. I think maybe a 2 because like I think it's kind of cute that it's like suit is stealth basically, but beyond that, there's not much flavor with the card. You're the Trickster. I get what I was going with this card. Normally I would say that this card is like not that interesting, but Blizzard decided Griffo was a good idea. Not that Griffo is a well-designed card, but like I think the only thing holding this back from being the class is like it's so complex. Blizzard's never done cost modification in like this totaling up way in the game, so I'm gonna give it a 3 star for that. And I think for balance, it's fine. You can just change the stats if it's overpowered. Okay, Blame Imp. I apparently like this idea a lot better than the stream when I made this. Battle Cry, deal 3 damage. If this targets an enemy, discard a card. I think people didn't like it because, like, if you do as the name suggests and target it towards your face like Flame Imp, then it's just a 1 mana more Flame Imp. But I think the versatility of the card is really where it shines. Obviously, you're usually going to be targeting an enemy. But you can also use it to pop an egg, which, like, again, is almost always a worse situation, like a worse outcome, because even if they have no enemy minions, you probably want to just shoot at their face. So maybe, like, I feel like adding a minion stipulation would help this card, because then you have a reason to target a friendly. Or reason to target a friendly rather than the enemy face. I mean, I guess if you have an egg, it would be good, but I feel like pushing 3 damage is still pretty strong. See, I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe not. I'll give it a 3 star as is. For balance, I'll give it a 3, because I think it's perfectly balanced. Succubus was never seeing play, and that's like 3 mana worth of value for 2 mana. This is like 3.5 worth of mana for 2 mana. So I think it's like strong in Zoo, but I think like it's not unlike any strong cards that Blizzard hasn't given to Warlock in the past. So I'll give it a 1 for flavor. Scarlet Avenger. While attacking, this minion deals its damage randomly split among all enemies instead. Wow, I'm giving this like a 2. I think the only thing interesting going on with this card is it's like its implications with like attack buffs, but like it's just really confusing if it takes the damage or doesn't take the damage, and it's just kind of a mouthful of text box. I think balance wise it's probably balanceable. For flavor it gets a 1 because it just barely makes sense. Because it's Avenging Wrath, that's why it's called Avenger. Hasteful Questmaker. I'm gonna give it a 2 star. I don't think it's very interesting. Doesn't do anything new. Drakari Enchanter at least had some like fun interactions with Okart or whatever, but you have to play this from your hand. Rarely does the end of turn effect being activated immediately make a meaningful difference so that you can like utilize this card in a good way that's not just Drakari Enchanter. So that might not have come off correctly, but basically it's a crappier Drakari Enchanter. It's balanceable though, so like I'll give it a 2 probably. It doesn't really limit design space because Drakari Enchanter didn't really limit design space. And for flavor, give it a 1 because like a hasteful quest maker doesn't really make sense. It fits the effect, but like, what is a hasteful quest maker? That's not a real thing. High Tinker Thermoplug. Cards that summon leopard minions summon 1/1 leopard gnomes instead. So people, I think, liked this, and I created it. I'm actually going to give it a 4-star design. I think it's a reasonable tech card that Blizzard would print. I'm going to give it a 2 for flavor because I think it's fairly flavorful to his Warcraft character as well. That being said, as much as I'm giving this 4-star design, I don't personally like the card that much. I think it's realistic because you can use it in a Bomb Warrior-esque, like, buff your own minions, or you can use it to, like, tech against any minions. Yeah, it is similar to, like, the kind of Bomb Hunter. Did I say Bomb Warrior? I'm like, misspeaking so badly today. Reminds you of Boom Master fucking not a great way. Yeah, you can use it in, like, a Bomb Hunter type of way, but it's also, like, a tech card. Like, you slam this on 4, and what does Big Priest do? I think maybe that's why people liked it so much, is that it's a Big Priest counter. Not my favorite card, but I actually think it's kind of realistic, so that's why I'm giving it 4. As for balance, I'll give it a 2. I don't think it's ever going to be that problematic. It's just 3 health if you really need to remove it. Avast. Discover an expansion. Replace each card in your hand deck with a card from it. So apparently people did not like the flavor on this card. I would normally give it like a 2 for just being like a very fun card, but I'm going to give it a 1 because people complained about hunters on boats. Like Exploring Goro, I would give like a 2 or 3 flavor because it just like, it tells a story in a card and it just represents an expansion so well. I think this does like a pretty decent job at that, but again, like people were angry that it had to do with boats and it was a hunter card. So as for design, I think it's like a 4. I think it's pretty cool. I don't think it's super realistic, but like if this was in the game, I bet players would just love it. As for balance, I'm just going to go ahead and say 3 based on Renounce and Exploring Goro. This cannot be possibly that strong. Man, I really wish I liked tea more than I do. Every time I have tea, I just wish it was stronger. I don't know, maybe I need better tea. Okay, Vile Mixologist. Gains health instead of taking damage from your cards. I think this probably should have been in Research Gadgetan. I think design is actually pretty cool. You can really utilize self-damage AoEs especially well with this card. It would be really cool to Hellfire with this. For balance, I think it's a 3. And for flavor, I'll give it a 1. Okay, Lunar Eclipse is a card I've designed a lot of times. Choose an enemy minion, deal 3 damage to all other enemy minions. It's a tough card. Druid definitely has really limited AoEs. Although a lot of times I don't think it'll be too hard to pick the enemy minion to remove. I'm gonna give it like a 3-star. I think it's fine. It should just be 6 mana, so it's balanceable. It should just be 6 mana. The flavor gets a 2. I think it's pretty clever. Maybe not. Maybe I'm stretching it. But the idea is that like, since the moon is eclipsed, you're choosing the minion to get eclipsed by the moon, basically. Is that dumb? Well, I'm gonna give it a 2. It doesn't matter that much. Switchblade Skulker. So this card is really weird because one of your best or most consistent turn 2 plays for Rogue is to just hero power. And so like, yeah, it's a bit of a stretch. Alright, fine. I'll knock it down to 1. But yeah, Switchblade Skulker, like, one of your biggest turn 2 plays as Rogue is to equip a 1/2 knife, like use your hero power. So I don't know if this card is working like against that. I don't know if it should be docked down for that, but maybe I'm biased, but I kind of want to give this card a 4 I think it like people might disagree, but I think it's cool in a way that the Defias ringleader is the 2-minute Defias ringleader. Yeah, that one. Also like Buccaneer. I think so. So I thought about that. As a 2-1 knife, like I think it's just interesting. Actually, I'm trying to think if that would be more interesting. If you're going second, you're almost always gonna like just slam it into an enemy minion. But it does make you consider hero power when you turn 2 more. So actually, I do like it better as a 2-1 knife. Only a little bit. I'm gonna keep it as 4, but it reminds me of like Defias Ringleader and Buccaneer and all those like kind of early game weapon rogue cards. I think it fits. Oh yeah, especially based off the Nizal's first mate, yeah. And this not having a tag is actually pretty significant, I think. I'll give it a 3 for balance because you really can't change it, but I think it's perfectly balanced, and a 1 for flavor. Okay, Croak Convert. Double the damage and healing of your spells and hero power on minions. So it's kind of a mouthful, but it's basically just Prophet Bellin, but for minions only. I think I'll give it a 4. I think it's pretty unique. I think it's rightful as an epic, just kind of like step down Prophet Bellin a little bit, but then limit the restriction to only minions. I think it's something Blizzard will print. That's why I'm giving it a 4. Actually, I'm gonna give it a 5. I think it's really cool. Oh, that's a 0, a 3. Okay. Yeah, it's the kind of card that Blizzard's gonna be like always really conservative with, but balance. It's balanceable. It's probably actually really weak right now, but and for flavor, I feel like we had something better with the flavor, but like, why is he a demon? Isn't he a Draenei? I forget. I don't remember. Yeah, that one's 6 mana card. What's the big priest card called? What's that? Which one? Holy Water? That's not it. The Holy Fire card is probably pretty good with this. Deal 10 damage to a minion. Oh, but it only restores 5 health to your hero. Never mind. Anyway. Equals attack to health. Light Bomb? Or the Light Spawn? I'm confused. Anyway, Mixology. Draw a card. The next card you play costs 0 and is discarded instead of played. Okay, I'm gonna give this a 3-star. It's a pretty overdone idea. It's basically like you choose your next discard. Inner Fire. Oh, Inner Fire, of course. Right. But yeah, Mixology's probably been done before. It's like extremely good with discard synergy cards. It's like disjointed power level with discard synergy, and that's more of a flaw of a discard mechanic as a whole, in my opinion. Stuff like Zavas, High Priestess, Silverware Golem is like ridiculously good with this card. Like 1 mana draw a card, summon like 1 mana 3 through a draw card. That's what the Silverware Golem basically. So yeah, for balance I'll give it a 1. It's hard to balance. For flavor I'll give it a 1 as well. Unnaturalized. Destroy minion, discard 2 cards. So I have a feeling when this card gets rated by the community, people will not rate it highly. I'll give it a 3. I think its biggest. I'm gonna give it a 2 for flavor. I think its biggest. The biggest thing I'm hinging on here with my ratings is that it's in Whispers of the Old Gods, and that it's kind of like flavorful for Druid to be the opposite of what they are. So it's unnatural, and they're discarding 2 cards instead of having their opponent draw 2 cards. Obviously, Druid doesn't discard. Like, I'm pretty aware of that, but I think it breaks the rules in a good way. That I tend to be biased towards breaking the rules, so that's why I think the community rating will be lower on me here. But it gets a 1 because I'll give it a 2 because it really is not that strong. You can't really change any. Yeah, I know. I'm a bad boy. I just hate the rules. No, but anyway, like you can't change the 1 or the 2. You can't change either of the numbers on this card. But I think it's balanced. I think it's bad. So, hey, what up, cheese? Frostflake Gin. I'm gonna give this like a 1 for balance because it's so bad. Like the effect, I feel like it's so easy to just constantly ping this, and you only need to ping it like every other turn. So like this could be like a 3-mana 7/7. I feel like it would still be bad. I could be wrong, but. And I'll give it a 2 for design because of that as well, since the effect is so hard to put on a card. Oh no, I streamed too early. Jeez, where do you live if you don't mind me asking? Or like just time zone, or what time is it for you right now? It's sufficient. It's okay, you can go and look at the recap. Actually, I was like pretty happy with the ending. Oh, same place as Pi. Okay. I was pretty happy. Oh yeah, so it's the same time for us. I was happy with the ending because we made 2 pretty cool cards with the number 300. You probably already saw them, I assume. But, and then for flavor, this gets a 1 because it's just generic. Mayday Machine. Swap places with a random minion in your hand. I give this a 2. I don't really know. It's really hard to use. You just like cheat out stuff, but like you only get a couple mana benefit each time. And it kind of like, I'm gonna give it a 1 actually. It like, it's not fun to play the same card over and over again. Like you want to be playing these big impactful minions. Yeah, Noibot. I take this as like an Alarmabot kind of inspiration. That's kind of the direction I took this. But so for flavor, I'll give it a 1 for flavor. I'll give it a 2 for flavor because I think it's like an interesting spin on Alarmabot from a flavor perspective, and especially in the way it interacts with the effect. For balance, I'll give it a 1 because I don't think it's super balanceable. It's just a very awkward card. 2-time champ. I was really surprised that I've like never seen this card before when I first made it, but I think it gets a 2 for flavor. I think it's pretty funny, especially like if it had custom art. Like if this was really printed in TTT and they commissioned like a funny 2-time champion art with like 2 trophies or something. Yeah, Rogue is awful. I'm not too concerned about like a couple hero powers being really bad with this. But because like they printed Clockwork Automaton, and I thought that card was really dumb when they announced it. I was like, wow, like literally 2 classes can use this, but that card's actually enabled some pretty cool stuff in both of the classes that are really able to utilize it well. So I think in a similar vein, this is a well-designed card. So I would give it a 4. Yeah, it's hard to do like hero power stuff with Rogue. They're always have like such a different situation. Because like they can't use it multiple times in one turn. Not that they would like be able to, but like for this card, like using a Rogue hero power twice does nothing. Anyway, for balance, it's comparing to like Daring Fire Eater and Clockwork Automaton. Oh yeah, Executus. The 3rd class, the Fire Lord class. I'll give it a 2 for balance. I think it's fine. Okay, Gabrus the Devourer. During your turn, damage your hero destroys cards in your deck. Okay, I'm gonna give this a 1. It's such an awkward card. Yeah, the numbers don't line up. I think it's way less interesting to be destroying cards from your deck than to be dealing damage to your hero. It's less obvious of a resource, just like how it takes people a while to understand why Fel Reaver is a good card, and why destroying cards from your deck doesn't matter. I mean, there's a pretty clear drawback here, in my opinion. If you're destroying like 10 random cards from your deck, that's like a third of your cards. But like, I don't know, does Warlock really want the health that much? Yeah, I don't think this card is well designed. I don't think it has glaring balance issues, because I think it's a bad card. Actually, I'll give it a 0 because like I don't know how I could change this card at all. Yeah, it's just not fun. And like the reward you get is extra health, but like since we don't have self-sacrifice warlock decks ever like really worried about their health that much, I don't know. Flightless Pterodax. Can't attack heroes until this has killed a minion. Okay, so the flavor here is that he gains flight, so I don't know if that's immediately clear, but I'm going to assume it's not, so I'm going to give it a 1 star for flavor. For design... I think it's better than just can't attack heroes. But I'm going to give it a 3 star anyway. I think Blizzard is a bit more intentional with the way they design commons, and I think this card somehow misses that. I don't know. For balance, it gets a 2 because it's easily balanceable. Or actually, I'll give it a 9. I always say 9. Okay, the reason I say 9 is because that's the keyboard shortcut I have to press to do 3 filled stars. But I'll give it a 3 for balance because I think it's perfectly balanced. Everyone probably thinks I'm crazy for saying 9. Anyway, Yeti Claws. I want to give it a 2 for flavor because I think it's pretty funny. 9 out of 3. Yeah, basically. So Yeti Claws gets a 2 for flavor because it's like obviously a pretty fun quote to Yeti. For balance, so I think just comparing to Gorehowl, it's pretty bad. Or even like Sultharaz, right? Wasn't Sultharaz a 6-mana 4/4 with an upside? So balance is fine, gets a 2. Design. I'm gonna give it a 2. I'm giving it a 2 because it will never be printed. It will never reasonably be printed. I think like it's a 3 or a 4 if this had been in like common warrior set like since the start of the game, but it hasn't. It's not, and so like this card will never be printed, so it gets a 2 for that. Okay, Ring of Fire. Give all minions after this attacks take 1 damage. Wow, I do not remember this card. Yeah, it doesn't fit well with Shaman. Burn mechanics are usually too slow to be impactful. What else? Yeah, I don't know. I'm not feeling this card. Also, like, doesn't work well with Shaman. It's hero power. Actually, it works fine. I'll give it that. It works fine except for with the Molten thing. So, but I don't think that was my intentions. I forget why I made this card. I think it was a top-down card. But I'll give it a 2 for balance. Yeah, I know. That was the point, I think, though, is that, like, even 1 health minions get 1 less attack, but then it's really bad, so I don't know. Okay, Generous Gourmet. So I remember liking this card more when I first made it, but Battle Card restore all friendly minions to full health. It's like... Again, this is one of those scenarios when I think people will not like it because it breaks rules, but I like it because it breaks rules. Like, obviously Hunter is not a class with a lot of healing, and restoring friendly minions to full health is a pretty swingy, powerful effect. But, like, I think it's interesting in Hunter because of that. That being said, I don't think it'll be printed, so... Let me look at my exact rating thing. An acceptable design, one which is likely in its best iteration but has a somewhat flawed core concept. I think this is a 2. And for balance, it gets a 2 because you can just change the stats and mana cost. I do, Cheese. It's so weird. I've made like so many chef cards. I don't normally. It just is like a very malleable flavor space in my opinion. Clutch of Shathyar. Give a friendly minion taunt. When it dies, destroy a random enemy minion. So this was like giving the obsidian statue effect basically to a minion. What's up, Dario? Flavor space. Yeah, someone always has to mention that. I'm just kidding. I think flavor gets like a 1. It's fine. Design gets a 2. She gets a 3. We don't usually see minion buffs of this variety in Priest, but it works well with their existing mechanics. I just prefer this wording. It's just a lot cleaner. I don't like putting apostrophes or single quotes on cards. I think it's fine for balance. You could just up it by 1 mana if it's overpowered. It does give it a death rattle, by the way. Like, it has the death rattle symbol and all that, so. Okay, Earthen Ring Tricaster. So this is a parallel to Kirin-Tor Tricaster. For that reason, I think I'm going to give it a 2 for flavor. Because it kind of like, you know, parallels the mage version, and, you know, it still has to do with 3s and stuff like that. So it's your spells that cost more than 3 cost 3 less. Oh, what's up, Grath? Everyone's coming in all at once. So this makes your Hex cost 1. This makes your... what's that? What's that Stormbringer thing? Makes that cost 3. I'm going to give this a 1 for balance because you can't really change it into numbers without ruining the heart of the card. And for design... Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think. 2 mana Hagatha scheme, but then like you're killing a minion. Yep, reviewing cards now, Grath. Most of these are pretty old, but 150, so I'm about halfway there. Next couple streams will just be reviewing cards until I finish. After stream today, I might put out the 91 through 120 rating form if anyone cares. Here, I'll show you guys this since there's a lot of people here now. Wait, hold on. Let me finish this card real quick. Okay. I'm going to give it a 3. I think it's at its best iteration, but is somewhat flawed. I put the community ratings in. So, by the way, this spreadsheet is linked in the description if you guys want to always check it out off stream. But, so these are aggregate from not giving Tricaster 3 stars all the way through. It's not a 3-star balance, though, unfortunately. Anyway. These are from the rating forms, so yeah, you can see that I agreed that this card is bad design, but I disagreed that this card is bad designed. So it's fun to compare, at least for me. This is here. I'll find the highest and lowest rated cards. So the lowest rated card right now is Marv the Mega Charged, which I kind of agree with. I'll probably retroactively give it like 3 stars design if I had to go change it. Yeah, I know. Time Walker is boring. People probably weren't considering like the thought process behind designing that card, which is totally fair. In the rating form, like I literally just say rate the cards based on how it makes you feel. If you like it, 5. If you don't like it, 1. That's it. Like you don't need to think about anything. Just like your gut reaction, really. Just to make it easy for people to, you know, give their feedback. If I say, like, make sure to consider every card very carefully, then I don't think anyone will really want to complete the form. So, anyway, this is the highest rated card, Change Stance, which I gave it 2-star design, 1-star balance, 1-star flavor. So I don't know why you guys like this card so much, but it's, like, so awkward to use. And you guys gave Death Ranger Kira. You guys hated Death Ranger Kira for some reason. I think it's really cool. I don't know why everyone else hates it, but maybe, yeah, I don't know why everyone else hates this card. I guess it does have good flavor. Okay. I'll give it a 2 for flavor, because you guys are, obviously people liked this. You gave Death Ranger Kira a 2. But yeah, I don't know why people hate this one so much. It's like a nice spike legendary. This song is too spooky for me. I need to skip it. Anyway, I'll get back to the ratings. But yeah, it's fun to see. Oh, this also is a 4.33 actually. So this is another high. This is tied for highest rated card with Change Stance. Okay. Ooh, Finstein. So I think I kind of like overrated how cool this was. It's like fun for new players, definitely. It has some pretty major design flaws though, which is like kind of inherent to the textless minion mechanic. I think that being said, this is probably the closest you're going to get to Texas Minion Synergy, and for that alone, I'll give it 4 stars. For balance, it gets 1 star because if it's broken, there's nothing you can do to fix it. Except for like change it to add a random card, but that nerfs it so much. And for flavor, I'll give it a 2. I think it's pretty cute. So I think Brain Slug is like a trope. I think it's a pretty common science fiction trope. It is, okay, I'll give you that. Like, given like, I wouldn't have made such a direct name if I had the chance to explore the flavor outside of this card. What I mean by that is like, you know how Blizzard posts those cards, those pages on their website that kind of like delve into the flavor of cards, you know, like they had like the Ngoro journeys, the like journal logs or whatever, or like even just like in the expansion reveal trailer, they'll have like these cinematic shots with like animations and stuff. Like, if this guy was a prominent part of Boomsday, I would be able to use a less direct name while the flavor would still be conveyed. So I'm trying not to ding it for the direct name, because ideally it wouldn't have the direct name. Yeah, they had like, you know, logs for Witchwood and stuff like that. Oh boy, we're at Koldar as well. Stoller. So this is going to be one that everyone, of course, is also going to rate like a 1. Okay. Compared to Time Walker Warden, so I give Time Walker Warden a 4 star. I think I'll give this a 3 star, because like, all minions, they have to be textless. You can run spells. Anyway, Kolar Dwell, like, minions in Mage is supposed to be a weakness. I think this is pretty true. I cited like Water Elemental and like Snow Chugger or something like that. Or there's a couple of key minions in Mage, like Faceless Summoner. There's some strong minions in Mage, but I think generally it's supposed to be their weakness. And if you're gonna give Mage a strong minion, it should complement their strengths, not just be a big pile of stats that's overstated for the mana. So that's why I'm giving it a 3 star. Oh yeah, that's fair, Duro. And yeah, I don't think people will rate it highly just because it's not interesting. I think I'll give it 3 star for being an interesting thought experiment, but I'll reword this. I'll say so there we go. For balance, I think it's honestly fine, but whatever. You can't change it, so it's either 1 or 3. I'll give it a 2, whatever. You really can't change it, but you could obviously give it an effect or something like that. Then it kind of ruins the point of the card. Gets a 1 for flavor. Okay, whatever. Trusty Tuskar Rod. So we ended up not having this to do anything with drawing cards, but we kind of took the soup vendor condition, I think. Whenever you store 3 or more health to your hero, gain +1 durability. This card obviously takes a lot of inspiration from... This is a real card, but damn, what do you mean? Oh, just you're talking about Kolar Dollar. Yeah, this is technically Tad's pull. Also, wow, I literally did not get that pun until now. Tad's pull. That's funny. It takes a lot of cues from Eaglehorn Bow, this card does. But I think Eaglehorn Bow is a pretty cool card from a design perspective. And this is encouraging Heal Paladin. It complements the weakness. It complements Heal Paladin by making you take damage so you can restore more health, so you can deal more damage to restore more health, which I think is cool. I'll give it a 3. Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 1 for flavor. It's out of flavor for Hillidan. Soup Vendor is a Tuskar, and most Tuskars restore health, generally. Soup Ladle, yeah. As for bounce, give it a 2. I think if you nerf this to 2 attack, it's a suitable nerf. For our own Spore fight, okay, I'm giving this a 2. It's just so weird. Also, like, it's really awkward. I don't really feel like talking about this card. It's just so weird. Cause like it's a 2-mana 2/1, and like if you choose +3 health, you just have a 2-mana 2/4. Plus, it has like a random benefit. There's no control, and the synergies are really sparse. Up until like Rise of Shadows, it's been really hard to get like a ton of minions in your deck. I'm gonna give this a 1 star actually. Oh, wrong 1 star. Okay. How far are we gonna go on stream today? We'll do up to Undying Geomancer. Stream never ends. It does end. I have to go to work tomorrow, so I must go to sleep soon. Okay, Naraki Replicant. For each minion you control 2 copies of, summon another. We'll give it a 3 star. I don't really like the flavor very much. I think the balance is fine. You have a G? I think it doesn't inspire very much deck building, which is kind of sucky for an epic. I think epics should at least have some cool deck building potential. But like, I think the best implication for this card is token, which is like, come on. You have a garbage game theory to watch and laugh at. Also, yeah, it's pretty awkward due to board limit. Yeah, I'll give it a 2 star. Looking back at it. Okay, and finally Undying Geomancer, which if you can't see, this is a 3-mana 2/2 spell damage +1 that resummons with spell damage +1. I'm gonna give it a 5 star for design, a 2 star for balance, and a 2 star for flavor. So I think it's pretty funny, the flavor theory review. If you have any theories you would like me to review, you can feel free to share them. Yeah, a sub did like this, and it was just in time for Reborn, which is funny because people were suggesting that the token should have 1 health, which I thought was just funny once Reborn was revealed. I think the flavor's pretty good. You can balance it probably by making it Reborn. Actually, I would find it pretty funny if Blizzard printed 3-mana 2/2 spell damage +1 Reborn. I would find that pretty funny. But yeah, I think it's well designed. So yeah, if anyone has any theories they would like me to review, now's your chance. Otherwise, I'll be going. Dario's typing his out. Okay, we'll give him a couple of seconds. I still have to change the name of this card. It's called Master of Ceremonies, but there's already a card called that. I guess we can look at the charts. Can't think of any theories. Oh man, I'll have to save it for another time. So yeah, don't worry about Acraft. We're just joking. But I don't know if you guys can see this, but so out of the 300 cards, there's only 8 Mage cards. There was 27 Warlock cards. So Warlock had the most with 27. Mage had the least with 8 cards. And I designed a little bit more neutral cards than Blizzard does, but it was mostly balanced between, like, if you add up all the classes versus neutral. 67 commons, 101 rares, 91 epics, 42 legendaries. So obviously, commons are completely disproportionately underrepresented. Oh, yeah, the art change. The art change was inspired by Chinese regulations, I'm pretty sure. So basically, like, Acid No Bravery came in. He lives in China, and he was just like, yeah, Blizzard is changing these arts in China. And he linked us to the Windfury, Harpy, Secret Keeper, and Headcrack art changes, like, a month and a half ago. At this point, I've known about the art changes, and I was like, oh, that's fine, that's cool, whatever. Like, it's been done before with Skeleton Knight. They have the potential to just download different assets to regional clients, so I don't think the Chinese art theory explains the changes in the rest of the art. Yeah, I do have the insider info. I know. But yeah, I think it definitely inspired it, because, like, they commissioned and gathered new arts for the Chinese audience, and then Blizzard was probably like, let's just implement these globally. I think it'll just, be more consistent with our policy towards art now. Because, I mean, like, I'm pretty sure Blizzard doesn't commission cards with blood, the amounts of blood that are in cards like Whirlwind, Eviscerate, stuff like that. I'm sure Blizzard has, like, a fairly lengthy document detailing to art commissioners, like, what their guidelines are, and I would bet that, like, limited to no blood is on there. So, like, if all the future cards are going to have no blood, I guess why not change the old cards that do have blood? I don't know. I personally don't think they should have changed the blood cards. It's just a bit dumb to me that they changed stuff like Eviscerate but not Whirlwind, because Whirlwind had way more blood than Eviscerate anyway. Yeah, I think Whirlwind is now going to get changed, in my opinion. I think they kind of, like, looked over it. The Secret Keeper, Windfury changes are fine to me. That's totally fine. I get why people think that it's a bit dumb that they changed Succubus, because, like, I get that you can't, like, desexualize a Succubus, because that is, like, missing the point, and that's why they completely changed the card. But, like, I don't know. That's a decision for Blizzard to make, that a Succubus is not appropriate for Hearthstone's flavor space. I get why they did it. Succubus change is probably the most annoying one to me, but the rest are totally fine and understandable. So yeah, I think Hearthstone Reddit is just losing their shit over nothing. Are they done with that? They aren't, right? I saw some picture on there today that was like deadly poison, but with jam in the art instead of poison. That was pretty ridiculous. You just don't get why not limit the change to China. Yeah, that's what I was saying, is that, like, they can do that. They totally can. Like, it's a client feature, which I'm pretty sure is already implemented, because Skeleton Knight has different art. They do it for World of Warcraft. That's a good theory, Dario. I didn't. You think because esport? What do you mean by that, cheese? Because they're trying to push it as an esport? Yeah, I mean, I guess that's fair. I think it would have to do with the ESRB rating, if anything. The only, like, conspiracy theory I've heard is that, I guess Blizzard isn't owned by Tencent, but I heard someone, like, talking about Tencent in the context of the art changes, and that they pressured Blizzard to do it. But, like, why would they care about Blizzard changing the art on a worldwide scale? I didn't even know that Tencent was affiliated with Blizzard. I thought they were affiliated with Epic Game Store or something like that. Anyway. This is that stretch where we designed, like, 6 1-cost cards and 0-cost cards. Conspiracy theory. What's your conspiracy theory? I like the Deadly Shot art change. I also like the Headcrack art change. I don't know. Maybe I'm just weird. I have weird art taste. I like all the art changes pretty much, except Fellstalker. No, that's actually such a good conspiracy theory, Cheese. Oh my gosh. That's actually really funny. Look at all those zeros. I know there are so many zero cost cards. Headcrack looks lame. I don't like the old Headcrack art. Interesting thing to me is that the Headcrack seems to have like Rastakan's Rumble themed art. In my opinion, it looks like it came out of that expansion. That's the only thing I have to say about that. Yes, you did see a Bob card. It's kind of crazy. I think I'm gonna like give this a 2-star design. Manfred Gilneas. There once was a Manfred Gilneas. Bonus review? Okay, fine, I'll do Bob. Okay, 2-star design. Okay, this card is so complex to review. Never mind, I'm not doing it. Oh man, something I'm gonna regret doing is finding the art sources for these again. I think I'm just gonna go through my VODs and just find all the art sources when I mention them out loud. I really should have written them down, because I'm gonna want to put it on here when I publish my article. Calling it an article, it's really just a Reddit post. Cheese, did you see the 2 300 cards that I made? You want to see them? What do you mean explain, please? Oh, my Bob card? Yeah, I know, it's really confusing. Like, you basically gain 2 mana crystals. They're called gold, though, and they look golden, and they're like coins. And then you can only use them to spend on 2 or less cost cards. So you gain 2 mana crystals, but you can only spend on a specific type of card each turn. I posted these on Reddit, you might have seen these. People had mixed reception, for good reason. It's pretty hard to put 300 on a card. It's gonna be tough to rate these because they're like, I don't know, not joke cards, but just like thought experiment cards. But yeah, Sandgrifter, I hope you understand it's a chess clock card, so you don't get 300 seconds each turn. You get a 300 second game, basically. But yeah. Yeah. I figured that was probably the only matchup in Hearthstone history. Like so probably one of the only matchups in Hearthstone history that would reach 300 damage would be a Control Warrior mirror in the current meta. So I went to the just first Control Warrior mirror on a Hearthstone Grandmasters game that I could find in a VOD. It was from like earlier today or something, and I counted the number of damage that was dealt throughout the entire game. And does someone want to guess what it came out to without looking at the Reddit comment where I've already discussed this? Everyone put your guesses in the chat. How much damage was dealt by both players total to minions and heroes in a Control Warrior mirror? $100. Any other guesses? 533. That's a good guess. The answer is 462. So yeah, there was a lot of damage dealt in that game. Obviously, like, this card is so bad. It should just say your damage is doubled. I kind of regret it. I kind of want to change it. How? Yeah, it includes minion damage, stuff like that. Yeah, they like pretty much all of Bomb Warrior / Control Warrior. Well, Control Warrior. Control Warrior's removal is damage based, so they don't have any destroy minion effects. It's all Shield Slam. It's Dynamatic. It's Brawl is one of the only like traditional removal cards that they run. All their rush cards deal damage. Yeah, go ahead and try designing a 300 card. I posed the challenge. See you, Dario. I'm about to head out too, so. But yeah, I posed a challenge. Some of the funny responses I got were add 300 spells to your hand, cast 300 spells, a card called Pikabot 300 with Death Rattle, summon a Pikabot 300, which was kind of cheating. Death Rattle deal 300 damage to your hero. Both players have 300 health but take 10 times the damage. So yeah, there's some pretty funny cards. But yeah, with that, it's been a pretty productive review stream. Let's see how many cards I reviewed today. Started with 121 and ended with 156. It's on Reddit. So I deserved 35 cards today. If you go to just go to my Reddit profile, put an Imgur album in the comments. But yeah, I will see you guys probably not tomorrow and probably not Tuesday, so it'll probably be Wednesday. But yeah, thanks for coming.